YouTube family. Welcome to another Two Family Homestead live stream. Woo!
Good evening, folks. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Did we do anything? Oh, yeah. We did something Saturday. That was it. No, yesterday. We went and got the trailer yesterday, right? It was so long ago, I don't remember. That's all we did for the weekend. But I hear other people are getting slammed with sleet and that other S word. I think we need to move south for the winter. I don't want to. I'm not ready for that crap anymore. Hey, Carrie, how are you? We got City Girl Country Heart, Built on a Rock Homestead, Hardneck Farms. We don't have Wendy in here very often. I'm glad Wendy's here. Ethan from 180 Degrees Above Average. We got Zen Sense Shop, Trip H. And let's see, Red Shed. Holly, she's only a few miles from us. Courtney, she's a few miles the other way. Well, quite a few more miles than Holly is, but she's also a Buckeye. And who else did I? Brad from BC Truck, who can't type this evening. And then our guest is from Holland. It was 72 at 4 a.m. Yeah, Wendy, I hate it. I literally do. The older I get, I hate it. Hey, Skinner Farms, how are you? Oh, you were in the 60s. Sure, rub it in, Brad. Yeah, Arctic temperatures. Oh, goodness. What's it like up there, Courtney? Is it, I think it was 40, it's 40-something here just a little while ago, so, yeah, I still have houseplants that are sitting outside. Strong enough to bend. Hello, hello. How are you? How is Kentucky doing today? I hope you're staying warm. I know that Gemini Homestead are now Kentuckians. Was that a word? Kentuckians?
Kentuckians?
I don't know. Is that what they're called in Kentucky? We're Ohioans here, or Buckeyes. I don't know what. Are they Kentuckians?
I don't know.
I don't either. Yeah, so it's probably a little bit colder where you are, even no, you're not that far from us, Courtney. Well, yeah, it is a bad thing. Come down here and spend a winter. Yeah.
I wonder if they have snow over there where Paul's at. Huh?
I don't know. Maybe you should bring him out and let him talk.
You think?
Yeah. He's probably biting his lip, doesn't know what to do.
You think he's ready?
Oh, he's been ready.
Well, let's bring him out here. Paul.
Good evening.
You're
Hello and Sherry.
Hello, hello.
So do you have snow over there?
Chat.
I'm sorry, Paul, what'd you say?
Good evening in the chat.
They're all Everybody is, we got Mama Z here from Texas, got D, naturally NC. My sister, 75 there. Thank you, Linda. I needed you to tell me that. But you're going to fall into the ocean, so, you know. Christy Betts, 77 in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of good people here in the chat.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Now, and to answer your question, at this moment we don't have snow here in Holland. When I was around 10 years old, living still with my parents, we had some snow here in Holland, but it's getting less and less over the years. So, yeah, you can see the change in nature.
Does it get very cold over there?
A couple of days maybe in freezing in the daytime. And we already had up north in, well, that's not far, that's 2 hours, and you are in upper North Holland, so it's a small country. But yeah, they had already 1 or 2 days some frost on the ground. But really frost, I can't remember that it was more than 2 or 3 days the last 10 years or something like that. So.
Wow.
And we are still even higher than the state Maine. So I'm almost at where if you split Canada in 2 pieces, then in the middle of Canada you should have the same altitude, how do you say that? Meridian or something like that.
Yeah.
That Holland is on. So we are still high, but we have to look that we have this streaming from the ocean sea that brings a lot of warm seawater to Europe, and that's why we keep it very hot here.
That's not bad.
No, you don't hear me complain.
Sorry, I've been working on this.
I know. I saw that.
So, and for the rest, I'm still in my vacation till Saturday morning, and then I have to go back to work. So I took myself a small vacation from 14 days, and I can do that around 3 or 4 times a year. So this is my second one.
Don't remember what it is.
But
Go ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I don't want to use all the days because I hope next year I can fly to America, because this year, yeah, you know why it's not gonna happen too badly.
Were you able to
So-
get your money back from your airline tickets and all that?
Yes, we have a good arrangement here in Holland that I took an insurance instead that the flight wouldn't go through because of what kind of reason, maybe I get sick or whatever, then I always can cancel it 24 hours before that.
Oh, that was a good thing.
And I've done that, so I got my money back and I put it on my savings account. So, and it's still gonna stay there till the time that that we can fly again for vacations.
Yep. Well, that was a good thing that you did that.
Yeah, well, my parents always taught me that, and that's also something that here in Holland is actually very normal to insure yourself for everything. So yeah, that is a positive thing from here in Holland, you could say.
So Paul, I'm kind of curious. I know that you had planned on coming to the States this year. So I'm going to guess you were a little bit light on your gardening. When it turned out you couldn't come, did you just get real busy and start gardening all over again over there? Or?
Well, I planted some tomatoes and some peppers, and I also planted some, how do you call it in English, cucumber, I believe. And well, because I was also building the shed in my garden for the firewood, that I now have full of it at this moment, because I cut down that tree in my garden. I didn't have much time to really keep up with the garden. So at one moment when I was going in, it was one big jungle.
So
And
do I see a fireplace there behind you?
yes, that's correct. Yes.
Well, that
I
would be
have
one
an,
reason to have
well, it's
firewood.
not
Well-
a real fireplace. It is more like a burning, yeah, it's from metal, and inside there are a couple of hot bricks that can tolerate the heat from the fireplace.
Okay, but
But it
it's
is from metal, and I can put all kinds of wood except for wood that is glued. So I can put almost everything in, and by me at my work, we do a lot of with Euro pallets and block pallets. And when they are damaged and they can't be used in a transport for transporting parts over the whole world, they throw it away, and I can take them home for free. I don't have to pay anything before it, because if they have to throw them away, they have to pay for it. So it's a win-win situation at this moment. I have 3 pallets who are not treated with any chemicals or whatsoever, only heat treated because they want to get rid of any bugs or things like that
Right.
inside of the wood.
Right.
So there's nothing inside of it, and I just can cut it and throw it in the fireplace.
Cool.
so do you heat with that, or is it more for looks?
No, I hear with it. Yes. Well, it's not that at this moment I have more plants because it goes from the bottom floor, because I have still 2 floors on top of me, so the first floor and then the roof floor. I still want to put in some copper pipes with water in it, and then turn a circle around the pipe where the water can be heated, so I can do more and more from the off-grid that I really want to do. But that is a big project, and first I want to do a couple of other projects in the garden, so I can start with, especially next year. We have to see if I have to fly over to America, because then the garden, I'm not sure how I'm gonna fix it when I'm gonna be 2 weeks in America, who's gonna water them and everything like that. But yeah, that's one of the things that I want to do with the off-grid thing that I'm doing here. I already have solar panels on my roof. I'm now for 85% of electric from the electric company, because I don't have batteries, but I gave the electric that I make more, I gave back. And then when I need electric again, then they're gonna give it back to me without cost or anything. So at this moment I don't need to buy a big battery pack or a Tesla battery wall, what I'm already looking for, because they said in 2023 they can change that, so you can't give it back one-on-one.
So what you have currently is what we would refer to here as a grid-tied system. So you're actually
Yeah,
okay.
yes, I'm still tight on the grid, yes.
So if the grid goes down for some reason, if they lose power because of a tree falling on a line or something, you're out of power too, are you not?
Yes, but here in Holland, the electric system is totally different than in the rest of the world, because the most countries, the electric cables are all up on the ground. And here in Holland, except for the high voltage cables that go from the central electric company to the houses, are above the ground. So the 350 kVA is above the ground, and the rest everything is on the underground. So
Okay.
there's no going down from trees, not in the city and not in the countryside. So everything is almost under the ground. Like also the gas, we have natural gas in north of Holland, and that is gonna be pumped by pipes through all the houses in Holland. So even the farms that you have on the country here in Holland have normal gas like everybody has in the city.
Well, Paul, I'm sure that I'm sure there's a lot of folks in here. Obviously, 2020 has been just a disaster year for most everybody with this COVID thing. How has the COVID thing affected you? What is it limited you to? What is it, and what is it still limiting you to do?
For me personally, not much, because I work as an operator in a sterilization company. It belongs to we sterilize things for on the operation chamber in the hospitals, and for piercings and tattoos, etc., etc. So everything that has to be sterile, they sterilize it at this company, and then it goes actually over the whole world, because the company is worldwide. So I normally have to go to my work. We are going slowly now to a total lockdown. And then only the grocery stores can stay open, and people with jobs like in hospitals or things that help the hospitals to do their things, they are also staying open. So I normally have to go to work, but a lot of people are now doing their work at home.
Right.
With internet, schools, they try to keep open as long as possible, because it is important for the children to go to school. Otherwise, they go behind what they have to learn. So they try to keep that as open as long as possible. And the figures are going up at this moment, around 10,000 infected persons a day. And hospitals are also going up, and the intensive cares are also going up. Not so hard as the first wave. And somebody here at our television said it is a different wave. The first wave was more like a big wave, but small, so not a big base. And the second wave, what we're gonna have now, is more like a tsunami. So the base is much more brighter. So it starts slowly, but the down the afterwork is much longer. So, and they are now tomorrow. They normally give us an update on what's going on, and how many more things are gonna be closed, because they want to close too much because of the economics and things like that. So for me, it's not. I'm sowieso a person who likes to stay at home, around the house, doing things, repairs, and all that kind of thing. So for me, it's not a problem to go a lot of times away. So that's for me, it's not really bad. I have to watch out because I'm a smoker. So I belong more to a risiko group than other people, I think, because of my smoking. And for the rest, for me, this not much different as anything else.
Okay, well, Paul, while you were talking, I went ahead and got the phone lines opened up. So.
Oh Lord.
So anyway, the phone lines are opened up, folks. The number's scrolling across the top of the screen. You simply call in the number, type in the meeting number.
Funny,
Follow the instructions.
The phone lines were topic of conversation the other day. Darren was saying something. I go, yeah, well, you're not one of the crazy people that open phone lines for people to call in. And he just had a chuckle, since he's one of the ones that calls in every week.
Well, he calls in. And
right.
I see he's been talking in here that in Australia for the past 20 years, they've been burying all their cables too. So.
Okay, that's nice.
But
yeah, well, we here in Holland, we don't have much earthquakes or something like that, so we don't have to be afraid of the cables being broke when the earth is gonna quake or something like that. And a lot of places they do have things like that, so they can't put the cables in the ground. Otherwise, they're gonna be ripped apart. And my central heating I have now for, what is it, 12 or 13 years. So it's already a long time, because they don't make the things so good and durable as they did about 20, 30 years ago. So after 10 years you should actually already change the central heating. But because I also want to do it with the fireplace to heat the water first before I go to the central water heater to bring it on a temperature that is really needed. I have to talk with those guys that I don't want to do it on gas anymore, but on electric, because I am also planning on putting more on my roof. But then I have to also invest, by the way, in batteries or something like that. I heard that they are the best. So I can go off gas, because only the central heating at this moment uses gas, and the rest is all electric. So I want to change that central heating system for an electric heating system, or a boiler if you want to call it in English. So I can heat the water with electric that I make myself, and then I'm, for water, I'm off grid actually. I'm still connected to the grid, but at this moment I don't use it anymore. And I hope I can save enough money to do that next year. So I hoped I could do it for this year, but I have some things that has to be paid off this year, so I couldn't do that this year. And if I'm gonna, the solar panels that I have now are on the top of my roof, and I'm afraid of heights, but standing on a ladder on 7.5 meters, 8 meters, is not my kind of nice thing.
Well,
if it was on something else that is more sturdy, then I don't have a problem with it, like I did with that tree in my garden with a roller gravel. Then it's not that big of a problem, but yeah, that's not possible with a roller gravel, so I have to do it with a small aluminium chair trap or something like that. And I don't have an harness, protecting harness, so you can't fall down on the roof, so I'm going to do that myself because it's too dangerous. The electric installing the inverter for the high voltage to the lower voltage, because the voltage that is coming in from the solar panels to the inverter is 700 volts, and it has to be down transported to 220 that we have here in Holland, and not 210 like you have, I believe, in America also. I'm not sure.
Well, we have 220, 240, anywhere from 210 to 240.
Okay, that's nice. So if I want, because that's one thing I'm also thinking about of immigrating to America, because I want to have a couple of acres of ground, and it's not it's not. If you have the money, it's possible here in Holland, but for 1 acre you pay about 50 to 60,000 euros. So it's too much for my budget.
Okay, I'm quickly trying to think the conversion rate there.
Yeah, I know, but then still, I believe it's about 40,000 if I calculate it back to or take the same space as that you have in America. I believe then still it's about 40,000, 45,000 euros for an American acre. So it's still a lot.
So Paul, I want you to share with us here, if you would, a common thought in America, as I perceive it, is if you talk about Holland, one of the first things that come to mind,
Ask me.
besides tulips,
Oh, well, hell.
besides tulips, is wooden shoes. Are there wooden shoes in Holland?
Yes, they are. clumps, they call them.
Yeah,
Okay.
my sister was sent a pair.
Okay, now are these for daily use, or is this just for some sort
Yes.
of dancing?
Daily use.
Daily use.
And they are normally used by farmers, but that was... You still have farmers that they use them.
Courtney said it's beer.
It's beer.
Close. If I do it in translating from Google, it says it's compass.
Sky
But-
says windmills.
Well, and that was going to be the next thing is
Windmills?
is windmills. Are
Yes.
they
See-
real common in Holland?
Yes, yes. Less than that that they were 100 or 200 years ago, because a lot of those windmills are being replaced by mechanical electric motors and things like that for doing the crunching of the tar and things like that. But yeah, they are still used at this moment to grind flour and things like that. But a lot of them are more like what you would see in an oh, my English words finding in my head is difficult. They go to a place for looking old stuff and things like that. Well, not old stuff, a museum.
Oh, a museum. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, they are too big for in a museum, but they are turned into a museum.
So the majority of the windmills there are used for milling grain. They're not used for to make electricity or pumping water. Is for like milling grain.
Yeah, for milling grain, no, not really for electricity. You could do that with it, of course. In the old ages, when Holland had the golden age, they were mainly used to cut lumber. So they could build the wooden ships to go all over the seas to wherever they wanted to go around the world. And there are still a couple of them, 2 or 3 I believe, they are still operating, but they're more like a museum than really doing it for making profit.
So with the windmills, then, does the wind blow all the time? Is it pretty consistent? No. So if it doesn't, then they only make flour and cut wood and stuff like that on windy days.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so a question for you, talking about things from Holland. Heineken beer, is that Holland or German?
Holland. Oh yeah, that's Holland.
There you go, Courtney. Your grandfather was right. It's from Holland.
Yes, it's from Holland.
Okay.
One of the that's slowly also getting a name like chips and wheels and cheese and things like that. So.
Okay.
What? And then you have the Delta works that protect Holland against the sea, because I believe 70% of Holland is below sea level. Wow. So we have
I didn't know that.
Dikes. Yeah, we have big dikes and how do you say that? Yeah, the Delta works they call it. They protect Holland from when there is high seas and things like that, so the water doesn't overflow Holland like they did in 1950, I believe, when 30% of Holland was underwater.
That sounds like Louisiana over here.
Yeah,
something like that. Yes. So that's also something when I see that happening over there in America with the high spring tides and with the hurricanes that I have, hurricanes I believe mean, that is just crazy what you guys are putting through over there.
And yes, folks, you also can have a mug just like Paul's. And a shirt.
And I have also a shirt.
That's too funny. See, the only thing that when he comes over to the States, he's going to have to bring Sherry a suitcase full of tulip bulbs.
It's
lo-
full of
I-
tulip.
Yeah, no
I
problem.
love tulips. Oh my!
No problem. And what I also wanted to say, I had a couple of months ago, I had my 1K subscriber giveaway. And last week I received at last the seeds that I'm gonna send to a couple of you that win them. So, and I know that Cecilia Jansen won them.
Right.
Two family and a couple of other people won those seats, but I just received them in the mail because the company that I'm normally going to get those seats was broke. So and I didn't know how to get them, and I just searched them on the internet and I found them that they also were broke. So, because of this virus that we have now, a lot of companies are going broke at this moment here in Holland. So that's too bad. But I still managed to get myself a couple of those seats from a shop totally north in Holland. I first, because it's now 3-4 months ago that I had my giveaway. And it took me a long time to get those seats because I put in the order and then somehow the order got lost. So I called them back and no, we didn't have your order. I said, well, I put an order in. Well, sorry, sir, but we didn't get it. So I had to put in the order again. So it takes a little longer to send all the people who have won the seats to those people. So I'm very sorry for that, guys.
Oh, I'm not worried. Christy Betts is asking if you grow tulips.
No, I don't grow tulips. No, I have been growing green stuff for about last 20 years, but I was inside a house and with a special lamp. So I'm already growing a lot of time some weeds, and for that I was doing that with my father when I was still living at home. But after my 20th birthday or something like that, I was 19, I believe. I go out of house, and from that till about 15 years later, I didn't do anything with growing or something like that. And then I moved because I'm born and raised in Nijmegen. And I moved in 2000 to Venlo, where I live now. And 2 years after that, I started growing some. I'm not sure if I can say what it is. But I think most people know what I'm talking about. So, and I start growing then on my attic. So I'm doing already a couple of years growing flowers, but also in the garden. But that is the normal stuff like sunflowers. And things like that. Not really tomatoes, because I started with that a couple of 1 year ago. Because 1.5 years, the first time I believe I met you, Daryl and Sherry, on a live stream. I'm not sure if I met you on a different channel or with somebody else came to your live stream the first time. And when I looked at all those channels that were in the live streams and I checked them out for what they do and things like that, I had, I heard somebody saying, well, I'm doing this for my children or grandchildren or even children from their children, so they know where their grandfathers are and their great-grandparents are and things like that and what they did in their life. So I had something I don't know him that much because he's autistic and he's living in a group because he can't. He's now 25 and he still has a mind of a 13, 14-year-old person, and he won't ever gonna get. He can't go live on himself rest of his life. So he's probably also always staying around 13, 14 years. So and myself, I also have a lot like.
So, Paul, what is the terrain like over there? I mean, is it relatively flat or is it hilly?
It's flat. Yeah, no, it is flat. Well, if a bit more south from here, because I'm very south for Holland, and you have some, I can call it, so it's more like you go 10 meters and then you go down 10 meters, much more than 10, 50 meters that you're going up. It's yeah, call that? I'm not sure. It's a little bit, it's not like mountains or something like that, totally not. The most part of Holland is one leg from the sea by damming in all the ground that we have here by big dams.
So tell us a little bit about what it's like to go shopping in your area. If you wanted to go to what we would call a grocery store, I'm going to guess you would probably call it like a grocery store, or obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then in Holland it's
okay.
So yeah, we don't call it a grocery store in Holland. You call it just a shop or kruidenier. You could say it. And there you can get everything. We don't have a Walmart like you have, but we have a Jumbo or a Lidl, Aldi. We have in the center two brothers of Venlo, and that's a company that is getting here in Venlo. But I'm sitting in the center of my city. Well, it's not a big city, so if I walk from one side where I'm sitting to the other side, it's a minutes walk. So I think it's about 30,000 people or something like that. Not much more. It's just a 5 minutes walk from one side to the center to the other side from the center. But you have actually everything that we need here, and I can be at the most places within 10-15 minutes.
So, okay, Paul, what about transportation over there? Do you have a car or that you drive, or do you use bicycles? Or
yes, I have a Nissan Note. It's a small car for 1.4 cc engine. I don't need a big car anymore because children are all out of house. Because I was married to a Polish woman. And she had 2 children with her Polish husband, but they separated. And then she came to Holland to work here because in Poland at that moment, 20 years ago, there was not much work. So she came to Holland and to come to work here, and so we met at work. And then after a half year, her mother passed away. And she asked me if it was okay for me to get her children to Holland because her father was already getting older, and she wanted to have her children with her if it was possible, if she could get the children from Poland to Holland. So we went with 2 cars and 2 trailers to Poland to get the children and get them to Holland. And at that moment they were 7 and 8, something like that. Maybe a year younger or a year older, I'm not 100% sure. That's the problem with my autism that I have, that things like that I forget. So I raised them together with my ex-wife till they were about 22, 23. And then, so that's about 2-3 years ago at this moment. And then we separated.
So, all right. Getting back to the transportation, are there a lot of bicycles?
Oh yeah, sorry.
That's all right. Is there a lot of bicycles over there, or is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there is. Or even outside the cities, they have special lanes, not by the highway, of course, but in the normal ways there, where you can go 80 kilometers an hour. That's about 15 miles an hour, I believe, something like that. There's even there from city to city, they have special lanes for bicycles. So actually with bicycle you can go from one city to another city. We also have trains between the cities, or buses you can go from city to city. Trams we don't have also, but not so much. I believe only Rotterdam and Amsterdam have tram. Metro we don't have as far as I know of. So, but the most things that we have also here, and they connect all the cities, and not even the cities, also the how do you call them? What is a little bit slower lower than the city? Google. I'm doing a lot with Google.
You go ahead and Google.
Village. So also the small villages here in Holland are connecting with all kinds of transport. You can also take a taxi, or you can hire a total taxi bus. So you can go in with 50 people in a bus or so, and they bring you to where you want to go, and then after, if it is an hour or two, the city buses are gonna stay where they let you out, and then they wait till you come back, and they bring you back to your own city. So that's nice transportation also. Yes.
Okay, now I'm kind of curious here, Paul, because here in the States, this COVID virus has affected a lot of small businesses, especially restaurants and small stores and stuff. And is that the case where you're at? I mean, have they closed down small restaurants that
Yes.
they couldn't? Okay, so they've just shut them off. Are those?
We are at this moment, we are in a light lockdown, they call it. The first lockdown, they call it a smart lockdown. Because Holland is just is even smaller than the smallest state in America. I believe Maine is the smallest state, and Holland is maybe 1/3 of the state Maine. So they really try to get us to think ourselves, to keep the 1.5 meter distance, to wear, well, they have still not decided to the mask to make it lawful. So they ask everybody to put a mask on, but they don't want to make a law of it.
Right.
And then, till I believe last week, the bars and everything like that, restaurants, they have to close at 6 o'clock. And in the last week they pronounced more restrictions on going out and things like that. And they hope to see the effect of that in the end of this week, begin next week. They hope to see some results of those closings. And if that doesn't help, they're gonna close more. But they try to keep everything open as much as possible, so it doesn't damage the economy that hard.
Well, yeah, that was going to be my question. I know a lot of small businesses, even around where we live, which is not I would not say small businesses thrive here like they would in a huge town, but it's just devastating for these small business owners, where all of a sudden they don't have any income, they can't pay their rent, they can't pay their bills, and so what is one to do? And I just wondered if this is the same sort of thing that you see over there.
The government here in Holland, they have saved last 15-20 years, they have saved a lot of money, so they can now give money back to all the taxpayers and everything like that, because everybody here in Holland has to pay tax for 101,000 different things. So they can save a lot of money, and I know that the Dutch money that is printed at this moment is it's 3 times gold standing over it. So they still could print 2 times more money that we already have printed. So if that would be necessary, they could do that to keep everybody as good as possible. So they already put out 7 million euros to people who lost their jobs, not so to the people, but actually more to the companies, so they don't have to fire those people, so they can stay on. But slowly now there are still companies who, even with that support, with that money, they just can't keep up, and then they go broke. And then they have to fire all those people. At this moment, it's not that high. I believe it was 200,000 people who didn't have a job, and there's now, in the last half year, only 300,000 people getting extra without a job. So, well, it's a lot, I know, yeah, of course. But if they wouldn't support the companies with money like KLM, normally they would be broke already. And the government put in 23 million, I believe, or something like that, to so that the KLM didn't need to fire all those people, and they could stay on till after the epidemic. But yeah, I'm still not sure. I'm afraid we still have to wait for 1 year for a good vaccine and things like that. So I'm afraid that still 1 year we're gonna have this terrible virus. So they should, I hope the government can keep up 1 year longer to make sure that the people don't lose their jobs, and after this virus is damped in or even be gone, we can go on where we left.
Okay,
But that's going to cost a lot of money, and that money has to come back to the state so that they can do new projects starting with for building houses or repairing the roads and things like that, because that is now stopped, so that they can use that money to give back to the people which are paid in tax for that everything in the last 15-20 years.
Okay. Just another reminder, folks, you see the phone lines are open across the top of the screen. You don't have to be bashful. You can just you can call in, just say hello. If you want to say hi in person, ask Paul any questions. He's willing to give it a shot to answer anything you might want to know about his country or things like that. And I see that Getting Started on Homesteading wants to know, Paul, when do you anticipate being able to come to America?
I hope as soon as possible. But at this moment, flying for private or going on vacation between Europe and America is totally stopped, as Clinton, no, not Clinton. What's the name of your president?
Trump?
Oh yeah, Trump. Yeah. So he closed all the borders for traveling for vacations with the plane. So I don't see that coming in the next year. I'm thinking about that, about a year or so, that we can fly. But then they have to have a good vaccine. And they are doing a lot of good things, but they say here in Holland about December, January, that they're gonna have a vaccine which is good enough and don't have too much side effects or bad side effects where they are afraid of, because it can work. But if they had more side effects than it is really good for you, then yeah, why would you take it? So they are still looking at that, how that is developing.
Right.
So I hope if there's going to be a vaccine that also in America is safe, and if you take that vaccine, then you can come to travel to America. Then I'm going to get myself that one.
Okay.
But yeah, this also here in Holland, the psychiater and people like that, they say that the young people have more problems with the lockdowns than people who are a little bit older and have a family to take care of, etc., etc. And also those young people, they want to explore the world. That's normal. They want to learn about themselves, about friends, and about the world, about all the knowledge that they can get to themselves. So naturally, I see. What I hope to do is visit a couple of meetings, like Homesteaders of America, and a couple of others. And maybe go and see some people where they live, how they do things, and hopefully I can still learn more than I already learned from all the people in the chat and from Two Family Homestead, especially from Daryl with his Tech Tuesday. I really learned a lot about it because I am already a member from YouTube from 2009, but I only get to make vlogs about 1 year ago, and that's after I saw how Daryl did the Tech Tuesdays. I learned actually everything that I know at this moment with editing and live streaming and everything like that. So I'm really grateful to Daryl, but of course also Sherry for being such a nice host. So I really have to say that I think so.
Dee, I think we would have to have a big meetup at Big Bear Homestead.
That would be a good place.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be great.
I don't know where the bear is tonight, but
or at the Troll Palace is what Nathan said.
I saw him by Stifos, but I don't see him at the chat at this moment. So normally he is here.
Yeah, I don't know. Something must have been going on down there. So
yeah, maybe he's busy on the farm. I'm gonna put this off because I'm getting hot. Because of the fireplace. At this moment it's not necessary to put it on a long time, because here in the living room it's more enough with this heating to keep it on temperature. Only when it is getting in the minus severs, then I need to extra heat with the central heating. But for us I can do it at this moment with the place. So it's.
Well, I see here that Getting Started on Homesteading is saying that they're hoping you can make it to the Homesteaders Old Fashioned Picnic, and that's down in Kentucky.
When is that?
That's in October. It all depends when he comes.
Yeah. And of course, we're gonna try to co-host an Ohio meetup next year.
Co-host?
Well.
Okay.
I don't know that we can do it all ourselves.
Oh, that would be nice.
I'll have helpers. Yeah.
I would like to come to help you.
Oh, Courtney, by all means.
If I have one possibility to be there to help you, I will be there.
All right.
And I don't know what it is, but first I was by all those names. I forget all those names. There's a big YouTuber. Don't remember the name. And I saw him doing everything that he's doing on this 10, 11 acres that he has with cows and sheep. The last time he did something with sheep, I saw. And that I have something from, that's what I like to do, being as much as living on myself as possible with vegetables, with meat, with baking my own bread, and I still have I bake myself a bread myself today. So that's also something that I do. So I go to this windmill we talked about, and then I'm gonna get myself some flowers, and in the shop by Lidl or by Albert Heijn or something like that, I get soul and I get yeast. And then some other things to put in, and I have a nice machine that's a bread baking machine. Just putting everything in, and then it works about 3.5 hours, and then the whole bread is ready. So I don't need to go to a bread baker to get my own bread.
Okay. Well, we have a caller, so let me let him in the room here. I think it'll take a moment for him to join because I think this caller is calling from Australia.
I've been waiting for that one.
Hello, Darren.
How you doing?
Hey, we're doing just fine. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine, mate.
All righty. Well, say hello to Paul. Say hello to Sherry.
Tonight's the night for accents.
G'day, Paul. How you doing, mate?
Hey, good night. How are you doing? I'm well, thank you.
What was that?
I'm fine, thank you. Are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. I'm pretending to work as per normal.
Did you say pretending to work?
That's what he said. He said that earlier.
Yeah. And it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon here.
Aha. Okay.
That's a nice time. I have it at this moment a little bit past 3 a.m.
Oh.
Yeah, last week we also had the time going to the winter time. So I don't know why they do that, because animals and things like that, they don't know summer or winter time. So it's only confusing for them.
Very much so.
But you had a question for me.
I just wanted to say g'day, mate.
That's very nice. That's very nice. Thank you very much. How is it at your place?
Yeah, blowing a gale. Very windy.
That's too much English for me. I'm not sure what with that.
It's very windy, mate.
Very. And you part?
I lost the last part.
Are you from which Australia?
Yeah, I'm from Australia. I'm from Victoria in Australia, down in the southeast.
I'm from South. South.
He's way
From
down
the
south.
From Wales or Queensland.
Underneath all of those.
Further south.
Underneath them. More to Melbourne.
Yeah, Melbourne's the city that's local.
Yeah, okay. I see it here on the map. That's the easy thing. When you have to scream, you can flip from one side to the other, because I always like to where people coming from, so I know to who I'm talking to. So, but you have now summer over there, isn't it right?
Yes, it's summer over here. Well, it's springtime. We've just entered into the spring season.
He's just getting ready to grow his gardens.
Yes,
Yeah.
my garden has just started.
We should go over there. We can start all over again. Because my garden, last week I took down the rest of my tomatoes and everything, which were not much. So I think my ground is well, it's not no chemicals anymore. So more like white sand than that it is ground to grow something on it. So I think I have to take out a lot of sand from my garden and put a lot of compost in it to get myself back on schedule with fertilizing the ground.
Yeah,
And that's what
I'm
you have when
going
you're living in the
organic with
center
mine
of the
at the
city.
moment.
Sorry?
I'm going organic with mine at the moment. It's just the first year garden, so it's been a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, I don't know what the difference is. Because in Holland, it's very difficult to do it without chemicals. I have to do it myself, but it's not easy.
Yeah, my biggest battle has been the slugs.
Oh yeah.
Well, you get some Heineken for those slugs.
Well, what beer was I using? I was using some beer for it.
Just a little beer in a cup, in a saucer there. I'll take care of them slugs.
Sure will.
Yeah,
It helps, but
my
I've
father
had-
always said to me, "You could put some salt on it." But
Oh yeah, if you put salt on it, they just kind of shrivel right up
They
there.
sure
and,
do.
Yeah,
yeah.
makes them taste better too.
Celia used to love to put the salt on them on the sidewalk. Our granddaughter thought that was the neatest thing.
But don't do it too much, otherwise your ground is gonna be terrible. So
Well, I normally walk around of a night time with a bucket of salt water and a torch.
Oh, and a torch.
oh,
Yep, you find it much easier of a night time.
Oh, when you say
Yeah, they're more
torch,
active
when you say
in the
torch,
night.
are you referring to a light or are you referring to an actual torch?
A
with flame?
flashlight for
Okay.
those in America.
Okay. All right. I mean, I was thinking you were talking a flamethrower. that would take care of them.
That'll work.
Yeah, it would work.
I don't know that my seedlings and malts will last too long, but hey.
You're insured, right?
Well, of course, now that brings up a question as far as garden pests and stuff. I don't know. Are they different in Australia? Are they different in Holland as far as garden pests? I mean, do you have one of the biggest pests we have around here, as far as I'm concerned anyway, is what is commonly referred to as a stink bug, which is it's a boring beetle that attacks vine plants.
We do have different insects in Australia because we are separated.
For a reason. You walked into that one, Darren. You walked into that one.
Yeah, they sent us out here for a reason.
I keep out of that. Yeah, we have also some bugs, but not really bad ones like a Japanese beetle or something like that. I'm glad we don't have that. But the wasps are getting bigger and bigger every year here in Holland. So I'm not sure if that is because of the high temperatures that we have the last couple of years. But they are getting bigger and bigger. And probably also because we don't have any real cold weather anymore. So the cold can't go in the ground and eliminate 50% of them. So they are getting bigger and bigger every year.
So do you have bees? Do you have honeybees?
Here in Holland?
Well, is there?
Yeah, we have bees.
Okay, so
We have
you.
bumblebees, we have honeybees,
Okay.
and then we have
Where I was going with that is beekeeping a thing there. I've never heard you say anything about beekeeping.
Well, I find it very interesting, but because I'm in the center of the city, I didn't do any research if it is allowed in.
How about down in Australia?
Yeah, beekeeping's a thing here. We don't have bumblebees. They don't exist in Australia. We do have a few native bees as well.
Oh, we have another caller. So let me let them in the room here. This is Daryl. Who's calling, please?
Hello, my friend. It is me.
Oh, we have missed you.
Miss me? I'm only a few minutes late.
Yeah, only a few minutes late. You're on the same time frame we are, Ahmed.
I had to eat some goat.
Need some goat. Oh Lord.
Yeah, and then I had to go.
yeah. We'll leave that one alone.
You have to do what you have to do.
Yes, and he does too.
But yeah, I would like to do these because I think they are good for hunting, and that's also something that what I see a lot of homesteaders that they try to have animal that are more useful for purpose. So and these making the flowers to make tomatoes and making honey. And for other animals, for the meat and maybe for the fur or something like that. So I like that honeybees and mostly the honeybees to have them here. But I'm not sure if it is allowed.
So, is there? I'm going to go to Paul here first, and I'm going to circle back around to Darren. But Paul, is there hunting in Holland? I mean, do you hunt animals?
And not myself. I know there are some people who hunt here in Holland, but then you have to have a special permit for that. And what I've seen in America, you only have a couple of permits that they give out for people who really want to do that. I have never done it. I've been in the army, so I know how to use an M16 and a couple of other weapons, but I've never hunted or any animal. So that's a dream of mine that still I hope I can someday make real.
Darren, what about down in Australia?
Yes, mainly it's private land. What was that?
Y'all use boomerangs. I've seen Crocodile Dundee.
Use boomerangs for birds, mate. We don't have the degree of public land that you guys do in the States. Most of our land is privately owned, so you need permission off the landowner to hunt on it. There is some public land, but as I said, there's not as much as you guys have over there.
Well, what are considered to be game animals in Australia? I mean, here probably in the United States, probably one of the most hunted animal is a deer.
Well, we do have
That's
deer
not
here.
true.
Jason.
We do have deer here. They are hunted here, not in the same sort of numbers that you guys have.
Okay.
Probably
Jason really doesn't know what a deer is. I mean, they have these little dog-like creatures down in Georgia that they have no idea what a deer really is.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the size of the buck that you mounted and the size of the buck that I mounted, and your buck looked like a Oompa Loompa.
Yeah, but they are allowed to get 12 of those dog-like deer in Georgia.
And Robin's dying in the background. See, you can hear Robin. I know that laugh. I heard it earlier.
So, okay, and I see somebody else has already brought this up, but so is kangaroo, is that a hunted animal in Australia?
It has to be permit hunted.
Okay.
You need to
Unless
get
you're
a permit to
driving.
hunt. So you have to have a cull permit to knock them off on private land.
Okay. What
But,
about
yeah,
what about
but-
birds and stuff as far as like ducks or geese or?
There is a duck hunting season.
Okay.
We don't have much in the way of geese. But yeah, there is a duck hunting season.
Turkeys?
Crocodiles.
You're not allowed to hunt crocodiles, James.
Here in Holland, we don't have crocodiles, so.
Courtney.
But-
Courtney,
Now, Daryl, you know, because they're called the land down under. You know, like for example, when they flush the commode down there, the water goes counterclockwise,
Oh, I'm aware of that.
and
yeah.
the birds fly upside down.
Well, I wasn't aware of, but I am.
Yeah,
that's something.
I am aware of the swirl in the drain.
Well, our drain goes the normal way.
Of course, if you should be so lucky as to be on the equator, it just goes straight down.
Yes. As long as you're on the equator and not within 20 foot of either side.
And so I suppose that means that on the poles, it just comes back up at you. We have another caller here. Let him in the room. This is Daryl. Who's calling, please?
Yeah, this is Special Agent Shepard. I heard with Department of Homeland Security. I'm here tracking a knockmed.
Oh my goodness. We have a
No, you can't catch me. Not so, Special Agent. You bald and ugly.
And there
So
goes
temperance.
and there goes the neighborhood. No, she's not.
You couldn't catch a cold butt naked in the rain.
For those of you that don't know, that's Samson Farms that just called in. Oh, goodness. Got real quiet.
There,
all of a sudden.
Jason's cat deer getting made fun of.
Cat deer. I love how y'all call almost a 200-pound buck a cat deer.
Wait a minute.
Little.
A 200-pound buck? Is that what you said?
Yeah, compared to that little 50-pound thing you gave me to hang on the wall.
Well,
Your thing look like an antelope. Not even an antelope.
well. See, when they get that big up here, we don't shoot them when they get that big because they're a little tougher. We like the young ones, young tender ones.
That's why I shoot them ones without the antlers on there.
I'm gonna get my feet up on the bottom of my chair.
You better. It's gonna get deep in here.
I'm telling you.
Okay, well, so
Talk about the deer line stories.
all right. We've talked a little bit about land animals. What about fish or lakes? Do you go fishing, Paul?
I like fishing, but the last couple of years there's not real much fun anymore about fishing because we have a small fish that came from Russia, I heard, and it is eating all the nice fish that you can eat. So there are not lot of fish anymore in the rivers and things like that. They try to get rid of those species that came in that don't belong in our waters because they are eating all the eggs from the carp and the foreign and everything like that. So they are having a battle against those kind of fish. So you can go to some kind of a pond, but then you have to pay extra for it. So I don't see the fun of that because I'm not a real fish lover. There are maybe only two different kinds of fish that I like, and that's what I catch myself on the sea, mackerel. I'm not sure if it is the same name in English. Do you understand what is a mackerel?
I do.
Well, I believe it is. Yeah, it's a mackerel. So I go them catch myself on the sea. That's one kind of fish that I do, but I've not been on sea for a couple of years. So no, fish is not my favorite. But I like to fish sometimes for some relaxation.
Darren, what about down your way?
For us, it's mainly saltwater fishing. We are an
I know
island
you
continent.
do not ask the guy that's on an island if he fishes.
We're all on islands.
An
Just
island
some are
surrounded
bigger
by
than
great
others.
white sharks.
Yeah, for us, it's mainly saltwater fishing. I don't really do mudfish. So, yeah, saltwater fishing, shark, snapper, squid, whiting.
Do you ever fish for octopus down there? Just curious.
Yes, we do fish. We do fish for octopus, and yes, I know the story.
There's a pig running loose in my house.
As long as it's not a chicken, mate.
Paul, apparently octopus lead a very exciting life, as we were told.
My father had eaten
Did he poop on
one
you?
time octopus, but they didn't bake it or cook it well, so it was more
Carol?
like something like gum
Your piglet
than it
pooped in
was
my house. Clean
eatable.
it up.
So
All over your sister and right around the doorway right there. There's something you don't hear every day.
Gizmo's in trouble.
Oh, only in America do you hear the phrase, your pig pooped in the house, clean it up. And why you walking around like you're lost? It's a turd, Carol. Get some toilet paper and pick it up. Use some toilet paper, that's what it's for. It's the little brown thing that's on the floor. Oh, sweet baby Jesus.
There's never a dull moment at Jason's house.
Ask
So-
your sister where he pooped, because she come out whining.
So, who else is imagining Jason doing the spider pig bit now?
Imagining what?
I don't.
You doing the spider pig bit?
Spider pig, spider pig.
Hey, we had a spider pig.
I don't know what it is.
You're not using a sticky note to try to pick up a pig turd.
Ah, no.
Hey, it could be a
no,
sticky
don't use
stinky.
it. Thank you.
There are some things I never thought that I'd ever utter as a parent. And pick up that pig turd was definitely not on the list of phrases I thought I'd be saying as a parent.
Why? You had a good word.
Well, I suppose if you are gonna pick something like that up, it's best to do it on a cold day and not a hot day.
Yeah. I need to have my head examined for letting her keep this stupid piglet in the house.
And that's not the only reason. That's just your most current one.
Uh-huh. Well, I mean, she come to us a couple weeks back, maybe even, I don't know, it was kind of shortly after the meetup, and she's like, this piglet is limping, and I need to take care of him. And I'm like, put the pig down. And so he walked across the tile floor with no problem. I said, that pig ain't limping. Go take him back to his mama. Well, sure enough, it was about 3 or 4 days later, we had a cold snap, and he ended up on the bottom of the pile and got crushed. And so I had to hear about that for a couple of days. And then so she come back, I guess, a week ago now. She said, we have a piglet down there, and he's just skin and bones. I can see his ribs. And so Robin and I walked down there, and this little fella, his bacon don't go all the way to the frying pan. I'm just going to put it to you that way. He would try to sit down when Mama was standing up. He would try to sit down and try to reach the teat instead of standing up like all his brothers and sisters were doing. And so he wasn't getting fed. And then, of course, he was getting weaker and getting pushed around. And so I was like, all right, get him. And she has this, because she's been this way since our very first set of pigs. She would always snatch up the weakest one, and she would bottle feed it and everything. And we've been through like 14 Wilburs and a couple Hamlets, and this one's name's Charlie. That way she could go punch everybody and say like Charlie Horse. That's the reason why she named him that one. And so she has this little crate. She has a heating pad in there to help keep him warm. And so now he's too big for the bottle. So now she uses the electrolytes in the milk replacer, and she mixes it up with the leftovers. I don't get leftovers anymore. They go to the stupid pig. And so she mixes that up, and he goes back there and eats it, and she cleans it. I mean, she keeps up with it. So I can't really complain too much. And but now the piglet has imprinted on Carol. So now wherever Carol goes, there's a little pig running right behind her. Everywhere she goes, he just follows her around.
So instead of Mary had a little lamb, it's Carol had a little pig?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah. Yep.
So now you got to get it a litter box?
No. No. As soon as he gets a little heavier,
And then
he
when
will be going outside.
And then when you do get it that litter box, then you're going to have to get a big tray for under the litter box, because the pigs aren't smart enough to get all of themselves into the litter box when they go sometimes.
Okay. All right, Grandpa, go ahead and pay for it then.
You're thinking of
no, he's
Harold's pig.
He's gonna get a little bit bigger and get a little bit meatier probably in the next. Well, definitely before the puppy gets here, and that's gonna be her shop project. She's gonna have to build him a hut, a little shelter, and build his little tiny pig pen for him to have, and then he'll end up being another charcuterie pig.
So instead of getting him a litter tray, you're going to get him a smoker.
Eventually, yeah. And you know, and that's another thing I can't complain about. She knows we're going to eat him, so it doesn't bother her. So I don't know. Maybe she'll need counseling for that later on in life, but you know.
Yeah, she'll be on a talk show talking about how poorly you raised her and all of that.
Gosh,
She'll write some
Paul,
book like Little House on the Prairie or something.
We didn't cause you to let the fire go out, did we?
Almost.
Oh, good job.
There's still some heat inside it, so I think it's gonna be good.
Okay.
Otherwise, we're gonna just let it again. So no problem.
Well,
You know, and I just wonder if any other people that live this lifestyle have to, if they do that with their kids too. If every time like a calf is born or a kid or a lamb, you know, if it's a little sick, if their kids try to nurse it back. Because believe it or not, it's it does, in my opinion, it does multiple things for them. One, it's great birth control for when they get older, because they don't want to get up at 2:00 in the morning to having from bottle feeding a pig. They remember that. That's the whole reason why I think Blaze is like, I'm not having kids. You know, and it teaches, helps, you know, send home biology. It helps send home, you know, home ec, because they have to learn how to mix the proper feed to milk ratio and all that other kind of stuff. So there's math. I mean, it's a whole homeschool curriculum all in itself if you stop and break it down and think about it.
Okay, so is this Ladessa's or Carol's?
Carol's.
This is Carol's.
Carol.
Piglet.
Ladessa's getting tortoises.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's getting two tortoises, and we have to special order this light that I think Robin's ordering tonight or tomorrow, and then this other light. It has to have two different types of light, and I have to build this tortoise mansion, and then we got to get a clear shower curtain to be able to help keep the humidity and everything correct, and then hopefully we will be lucky and get a male and a female, because Ladessa wants to breed these tortoises, and then she's going to use the money that she makes from selling the baby tortoises to help pay for college.
Good idea.
That's what I thought. That's why I'm supporting it.
Mm-hmm. Good idea.
But you know, these stupid turtles can get up to over 200 pounds.
And live, and live what, 80 plus years?
That's a lot of soup, Jason. Yeah. That's a lot of soup.
Yeah. They get like 3 foot by 3 foot.
But
That's
how
about
old do
a
they have
meter
to
by
be
meter?
to get to sexual maturity?
I think it's like 2 or 3. Dessa, your turtle, how old does it have to be before it starts making babies? 5.
So
Where
you
do
have
these
to wait
tortoises
5 years
originally
before
come
they
from?
can get small ones.
The ark?
I was talking to Dessa. I wanted to talk to the smart one, not you.
Georgia?
I can see
Savannah,
it now.
she said.
A new sign on the gate. Big Bear Tortoise Mill.
Tortoise mill. They're going to have a cement Rottweiler on one side and a tortoise on the other.
Yeah, well, and of course a pig in the center. That.
Yeah, Carol will have to have a pig.
We're just gonna. Well, one of Robin's goals is for us to be able to open up for tours for special needs children. She's going to be growing a.
Well, she does already deal with you daily.
What? Oh, a sensory garden. That's it. Thank you, Dessa. She's going to be growing a sensory garden, so that way they can. And basically, these raised beds are going to be full of stuff that the kids can touch and smell, and basically do all the senses. Taste, right? Hear, all this stuff. That's why she has me painting in all these loud colors.
Jason, Francine's asking if they're legal to sell in Georgia.
What?
The tortoises. I mean,
Let's go with yes.
Are those kind legal to sell? I mean, I know there's some that you're not allowed to sell, aren't there?
Well, there's some turtles you're not allowed to sell, like the painted turtle, I think, or I know the alligator snapping turtle's off limits.
Yeah, it's even off limits to hunt.
So.
Paul?
But if you can't sell it, I mean, we could always, there's always ways around that.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it tastes like pig. I'm not sure, but
Okay, they're just gonna smash the thing to bed because it feels good.
I know they can sell them in Florida. So it's not that far of a hop, skip, and a jump.
Okay, and I see
Well, what
that
is
I see that Wide Family Farm mentioned something here earlier in the chat. A popular program that they have here in the States for younger people is 4-H. This is where they're teaching the kids about raising animals.
They're teaching them what Jason and Robin are teaching them.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they have county and state fairs that and street fairs and of all different sizes that the kids raise animals for prizes and stuff like that. Does that kind of thing happen over in let's go with Paul first in Holland? Is there programs specifically geared to the younger folks?
well, when it was a basic school, we had some small gardens at school, and then you have they go 2 or 3 times to an how do you call that? It's a farm with some. Let me type it. Sorry. This is like a petting zoo, so you could say it. So they go on excursion for 2 or 3 times a year to a petting zoo. And then at the school they have some small gardens where children are allowed to put some stuff in the ground. And every year, for every school year, it's something else, so they can learn about different kinds of plants that you can eat and herbs that you can eat. But it's only on the basic school, and when you go to the second school. I believe it is high school in America they call it. Then it's normally nature, more based on nature around the whole world. So not really anything about farm.
And Paul, maybe I should have prefaced this a little bit more because again, I don't know what the country is like over there. But I'm going to make.
They just come one time here.
I mean, I'm going to make an assumption that there's farms. I'm guessing you probably have farmers that raise grains and some that raise meat products like cattle and so forth. And
yes. That's
primarily the kids that I was talking about. Is the kids that are being raised on the farm. This 4-H program here is more. I'm going to say it's generated toward those young people. Not the city kids, because the city kids they think their bacon is made in the back of Walmart.
Yeah, that's the sad thing about it. They should teach the children the truth and not when you can get it in the shop. There are children from parents that have a farm, but the most kids like to do more with IT and things like that. So there are not many children that take over the farm from their parents. So slowly, also because of the CO2 emission that the farmers do, they have to drastically downsize all the farms here in Holland. Otherwise, they not gonna make the how do you say this, from the United Nations for the CO2 emission that they do. So the most farms that we have here, if the children not taking over the farm just gonna be closed, and they try to the land to make it as it was.
Okay.
So making a farm was yeah. You go ahead there, Daryl.
Okay, Paul, we've got another caller here, so let's get him on the line. This is Daryl. Who's calling, please?
It's Terry, City Grove Country Heart.
Well, hi, Terry. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I was going to call in earlier, but I had to chase after a cat. My cat got out and was chasing after a female cat, so that was not fun. But I wanted to ask Dustin, I don't know if he's talked about this or not. How much land does he have where he's living now, and what does he like to grow in his garden best?
Okay, Paul, were you able to hear that?
Yeah, I hear that. I have to go to my.
Well, okay, Terry, he
Because
lives in town. He lives in the town, so he doesn't
I
have a
don't
lot of property.
much. I have about
Okay.
14 by 66 feet of garden at the side of my house. I wanted to do some raised beds this year because I have garden is not at this moment ready to be a garden for growing stuff. So I wanted to do top roof raising beds, but because I had to work, it didn't come from it. So I only have a couple of square feet.
So he's kind of like in the same situation I am.
Yeah, yes. I am. I've seen some of your vlogs. Also, don't ask me at this point which one, because I don't know that. Because I noticed that you also lived in the city to see what you were doing, and maybe I could learn something from it. But it's not as far as you are at this moment. So hopefully next year I can do more gardening.
Okay, and I see that somebody dropped off, and I don't know who it was. So let's just do a real quick roll call. I know that Darren is still here.
Yep.
Ahmed, you still here?
Hola, ¿cómo está?
Yeah, he's still here. And
Nathan.
Terry's here. So Nathan obviously dropped off for whatever reason here. So
So is that a French terrorist now?
Bonjour, bonjour. Come on,
Well,
tell me
I
on my
hope
roof.
it doesn't get worse here in Europe, because this is really, really, really sad.
oh my goodness.
And I'm not gonna go further into that discussion. I'm not gonna go on that ice.
What discussion?
Okay.
What I miss?
About this French teacher.
I thought we were talking about gardening.
No. Because I've learned with two-family homestead, depending on who calls in, a totally safe conversation in the chat can go 10 million miles left and right, and it's not always normal talk.
Instantly. It can do that instantly, Terry.
Yes.
Yep.
They can do a total 180 and be
Yep.
so off topic. It's crazy.
Uh-huh.
Us off
Oh,
topic.
somebody started talking about choking a chicken.
Here we
No.
go. God, they're even talking about that on Facebook.
Good old Lazarus chicken.
I don't know. I was about to cook some ants tonight.
You know, I thought about y'all, Sherry, on Saturday because we were processing some more birds while we were waiting for my parents to get here.
Yeah,
And so we were doing the process and stuff, and my dad just started asking questions, and here comes Ladessa. You just don't choke the chicken, Grandpa.
out of the mouth of babes.
Yes.
Gotta make sure you bleed it out. You can't just choke it.
But I thought if my fingers were so tiny that I could have choked an ant's neck, I would have. I went in my kitchen tonight to start dinner, and my kitchen has paneling on the walls all the way around. Well, there's a crack between the paneling and the window frame. And I had a whole bunch of fire ants going along the bottom of my cabinet onto my coffee maker. Well, I killed them. I opened the lid to pour water in, and there's like 100 of them in there with babies.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah. And it's not one of them normal coffee makers. It's a bun coffee maker.
That's what we
so I had to dump out all the water.
Yep, that's what we have. Yep.
I'll have just thrown
Peppermint oil.
Out.
And then it's like
Soap
a peppermint
water
ant.
and then soap and water to kill them, and then bug spray outside.
And then caulk that paneling.
Oh, I am. I'm getting caulking tomorrow, and it's going to still in. Because some landlords just don't know how to fix the house because it's not a trailer.
Borax and honey.
Hey, Jacqueline.
So, Paul, what
Yes.
what are your goals for the next year here at your place? I know, didn't you say something you wanted to perhaps put some plants on your roof or something?
Yes, I'm still thinking about that. I have nice beams lying that I want to put on the roof of my garage to build raised beds on the roof, because it's a roof which you normally don't use. And I want to build on some raised beds, but not really putting it on the roof itself, but more at the outer sides, so actually on the bricks. So there's not gonna be too much weight on the roof itself, otherwise it could go and leak. And I tried to see if there was some other homesteaders or other people doing something like that, but till now I didn't see anybody do something like that. I see them if they have a balcony or something like that, but really a roof from a garage or something like that, I'm not really found something like that. So I really have to think carefully about it, how I'm gonna do that, because I don't want to have a leaking roof. And yeah, because I still have to do a lot of my gardening at the ground level, I hadn't time this year to do that on the roof, but it's still something that I still want to do. Maybe not this year, maybe next year, because I cut down that tree in my garden and all those small branches and things like that. Cecilia told me that hey, you can put in on the back of on the bottom from the raised bed, and over there you can put on some dirt. So it doesn't have too much weight, and you have a nice layer that the ground can get the fertilizer off. So, but yes, that's still something that I would like to do, because then I can get 1/3 more of things that I can put, and it's only going to be about 20 centimeters high, this raised bed. So I only can put in like carrots that don't go too deep into the ground, because they only have a height of 20 centimeters. So that's about not even 1 feet, I believe. I believe 30 centimeters is 1 feet or something like that. So, and it's only gonna be 2/3 of a feet.
So do you also do canning, preserving, dehydrating, any of that type of stuff?
I myself didn't do that till now. At this moment, I don't know if my. One moment, I have to make a small light in the kitchen. 1 second.
Okay. Okay, so let's go back down to Australia here.
Yes, mate.
So what are your gardening plans coming up for this year?
Sorry,
Since you're just getting into this year.
I have to.
My plans are hopefully the
What?
slugs and weather doesn't kill it all.
So there's my kitchen, and that's to the right of my side. And I have two pans standing at that moment with beets that I have been cooking today. And I want to do it in a water bed to keep them about 1 year good.
Oh, okay.
That's what I
So water bath
today.
canning. Water bath canning.
Yeah, water bed canning, because I don't have a high pressure canner.
So is there a shortage of canning jars and lids in your area? That seems to be something that's going on around here where there's a pretty good sized shortage. A lot
What
of people,
jars and lids?
they're having problems getting lids and jars and
Well, I normally buy the food that I buy normally in glass with a Dexel on it. And if you open it inside the Dexel, it's already in a rubber ring inside of it. So I try to carefully open those glasses so the Dexels don't get damaged, and I can use them over and over again. As long as there's rubber inside of the Dexel, it's not broken and it's not dirty, you can use them over and over if you do water and not pressure canning. Because with the pressure, you get more pressure on it, and the
Right.
Dexels probably won't hold.
okay. And so again, just to be curious, in your area there, Paul, what would be what is the brand of jars and stuff that they sell over there? I mean, would it be mason jars or ball jars or?
I don't know, because I don't actually. Yeah, we have some kind of jars, but they are really old, and it's totally different. And I'm not. I don't dare to say how it is here in Holland because I'm not familiar with that. I normally use the glasses that I get from the shop.
Okay.
So there is probably something like that. It's not that I know of.
Okay. Well, obviously we didn't know.
Well,
So-
I think one of the brands, and they may be a brand of Mason / they're like ball jars, but they're Bernardin, I think maybe is how they're pronounced, and a lot of those have
Hold on.
one lids, or the I forget what the other ones are called that have the rubber gaskets. But yeah, they don't have the ball jars like we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know.
Yeah, there's a rubber jacket. What you say is mostly used here in Holland. So then also the Dexel is from glass. So it's a glass pot, and then you have a rubber piece going on it, and then the Dexel is also from glass. And then you have to keep it down with a spring till it is boiled or pressure canned, and then you can take the spring off, and then it's closed.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. They're WEC. WECK is a big brand they use
Okay.
over in Europe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just from Mr. Refuge uses them, some of them.
Yeah, and those are nice ones. I mean, I have.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I have
They're
a few of the
beautiful.
WEC. Yeah, I have a few of the WEC jars, and I like them. Yeah, see, Daryl, this is
As far as I can see on Google at this moment,
That's what a wet jar is.
they are enough to get. So there's no shortage at this moment here. But they are expensive, I see.
yes, very much so.
Did you see White Picket Fence here? They're asking WEC, W-E-C-K jars?
Yep, WECK.
Yes, that's it, White Picket Fence.
Yep.
WEC jars.
Yeah,
Just don't
WECK.
don't put an R in there. They're not wrecked, they're just WEC.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
right.
Cecilia. The Classico spaghetti sauce jars are also good. A lot of people won't use them for pressure canning. They'll use them for water bath.
And
Yes,
I
that's
see that.
what they do the most here in Europe, that I know of, especially here in Holland,
Yeah.
Germany, France, Belgium, Luxembourg, Poland. Spain and Italy, I don't know.
And I see that Ravencoat says that Bernard is the Canadian
Yeah.
version
Yeah,
of the ball
I
jar.
think I know that because I guess because Bev talks about that. Maybe that's why that one stuck in my head. Yeah.
Yeah, White Family, you can also buy them at the flea markets here in Holland also.
Okay, well, because we have such an international flavor tonight, what kind of jars do they use down under?
Ball jars.
Ball jars, okay.
Yep, and they are in stock.
And they're in stock.
Oh, how lucky are you?
Yeah,
I
really.
can't find none here.
Tad,
Yeah,
place-
well, it's not canning season for us. It's only started growing season.
that's true. That's true. Tad, too expensive for us to
Yes.
have them shipped, Terry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're in their spring right now. I got friends down in Australia.
Yeah, I have family in Australia. How about that, Mama Z? It's a learning class tonight.
So
Ball mason jars.
Ravencoat is
You can
Ravencoat
get
from
them here in
Canada?
Holland also, I see.
Is Ravencoat from Canada?
Cecilia. That's Cecilia Jensen.
From Canada.
Yeah.
Well, they ought to be calling in on the phone here on the computer.
Oh, you've used
Canada.
okay. Yeah, you okay? So you've used them for pressure canning. Okay, well that's cool because I know I keep them. I keep those when I buy that spaghetti sauce. I love those jars.
My neighbor uses them to put homemade jams and jelly in, and her different butters. She does. Okay. But that's Cecilia.
Yep, that is.
So we just got dumb lucky. My parents, when they came down, they stumbled across. My parents are very habitual Waffle House customers.
Waffle House is
And-
good. I missed it. Oh,
They will go to the same one all the time, and they found a waitress they like. They stay in her section, and they become friends with them. Well, this one waitress, her mama or grandmama passed away, and my dad got a pickup truck load of or canning jars, everything from half gallon to a pint, and to jams and jelly jars, and $30.
I bet. Oh.
But some of them are so old that they have the old tin lids that push down on them. They don't screw; they push down on them. I don't know what they were used for, but they
My
definitely.
grandma
couldn't-
had them.
They're just as neat as they can be. I don't know what we're going to use them for. Probably to put pecans or something like that in them.
But
or
I heard-
something. I don't know.
I heard that Sydney ate them all.
Yeah, me too.
What?
I heard that Sydney
We
ate them
had
all.
Sydney ate them all.
Yeah. He ate a bunch of them.
That was funny.
Every time Modesta would crack one and put it off the side because she wants to get them dipped in chocolate. As soon as she'd start to get a nice little pile, he'd start picking on her and eating them.
Imagine that.
So,
Well, hopefully she can get a bunch more before all the squirrels get them.
so Paul,
She was out there with her pellet rifle today. Got one.
Paul,
She got one. She got it right in the ear.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
okay, Paul, do you
Brought
have
it in
any?
and skinned it.
Paul, do you have any aspirations to move out of the city and obtain some more property?
Yes. That's one thing why I'm doing at this moment a lot of repairs in this house, so I can sell it and buy something somewhere else. I'm not even saying I'm gonna stay here in my country. So I'm also thinking about New Zealand because I have, my mother have a niece living over there, and I heard it's a really nice country, or America, or some other country where they speak enough English that I can right away fit in the country.
Don't go to New Zealand. It's full of Kiwis.
Full of what?
They're worse than Americans.
I didn't say that.
Somebody worse than us. I'll be darned.
Darren, our backyard's going to be full of kiwis.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We Daryl bought kiwis, hardy kiwis 2 years ago, and they're supposed to get what 200 pounds. A
200
plant?
to 250 pounds per plant.
And
got
we have 10
plants,
plants, Terry.
Wow.
Well, if you want to get rid of this, next time you're on your way to Georgia, you can make a stop. I've never eaten. I'm 44 years old. Never eaten kiwi. I tried them for the first time this year and fell in love.
Oh, my grandson got me started on them. Yeah, we went to there's a local greenhouse here, and at the end of spring, they close up for the summer, and everything is marked down by for the week they go. It starts at 10%, then it's 20%. By Sunday, they're 90% off whatever's left. They had hardy kiwis this one time. Daryl bought 10 of them. I go, what are we going to do with these? They're all.
I'll buy 2 plants from you, $20 a piece. How's that?
They're all across our backyard. He built an arbor for these special, and I think it takes 2 to 3 years. So this will be the 3rd year this spring. So we shall see.
You know who's a big kiwi farmer, Sherry?
No, I don't.
Do you remember old Elk and Anchor Homestead?
Oh yeah, sure I do.
Oh yeah.
Yes, they bought that big kiwi farm down there in South Georgia.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They did?
Yeah. Because aren't they in Georgia? Yeah. You know, but then they had that tragedy with their baby.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and they kind of disappeared. And, I mean, you don't even see him. Him and I used to talk on Facebook, but he's not even on Facebook anymore. So I don't know what they're doing, because I know the farm that they bought was the old kiwi farm. And I don't know what they're doing with it from there. The last time I talked to them was HOA last year, because they came up for HOA. And they came by the booth and hung out for a while. And then poof, just disappeared again.
I tried dehydrating kiwi a month or so, a couple months ago when I ended up in the ER because my potassium. The doctor told me one of the fruits to eat were kiwi, so I tried dehydrating some, and they got so sweet like candy. It was crazy.
They do.
But I ate it.
That's like pineapple does the same thing. Pineapple gets real sweet when it's dehydrated.
Oh, good. I love pineapple.
You know the proper name
I
for
just
it?
can't have grapefruit.
What, Darren?
Do you know the proper name for them isn't kiwi fruit? They are Chinese gooseberries.
Gooseberries?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yep.
I did not know that.
There is a channel I watch in Australia. Oh, God. I got to remember the name. It's Swampy something. And they turned part of their property into a kiwi farm. And he bought like 20 plants for it.
Oh, me too, Courtney. I love pineapple. Have you grown your own yet? Hey, TNS. No problem.
I don't think we can have kiwis here in Holland. Well, imported we can, but growing them ourselves here, I don't believe we can do that.
Why not?
It's too cold.
But these are hardy kiwis. We're in
Yeah, they don't have the furry skin.
Yeah, we're in Ohio, and these are meant to grow in our climate. So I bet you they might.
And I believe Ohio has almost the same as here in Holland.
But are they the kiwi berry that you've got, Sherry?
I have no idea. I mean, we bought the plants. We haven't gotten any fruit off of them yet. I think they said it takes 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, Dana got some that said they were a hardy kiwi fruit, and they were actually a kiwi berry. So it's just a small berry-sized one.
I don't.
They are smaller.
They're smaller than what you get in the store.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be a kiwi berry.
Okay.
Yeah, my family says they're as small as a grape.
Okay.
I want to grow the
Yeah,
ones
no,
that you get in the store.
I've not heard of them.
And
So I know the normal kiwi, and you can eat them with a spoon, a small spoon, and they cut them in half, and you can eat them
Right.
right away. But the other ones, I don't know.
and fishes and loaves, they're not the same as a ground cherry, which you guys call a gooseberry also over there.
Terry wants the fuzzy ones.
I'm not saying a word.
Welcome to America, where we got 20 different names for the same tool.
Yep. That's true.
Yeah, well, in the new year, I also hope I can, and I see just White Family Farm is making wine. So I want to put in some wine drapes for making sweet wine, and I do them myself. So I take a big bottle of 20 or 25 liters, and then I put in 5 kilo of wine drapes with 5 kilo of sugar, and then it's gonna stand for about 1 year on a temperature of 24 degrees, and then I have a drupple system I place in a small pipe that goes like this, and under it you have some water, and then it drops the whole time, so blub, 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 and then in about 1 year you have very sweet wine.
Yeah, we
So
have,
that's something I normally do. But I don't have enough wine drapes myself at this moment, so I want to do an pergola so they can grow over there, and then I want to put it around my fence so it can grow close, and nobody can also watch inside of my garden, because my garden is right outside at the street. So everybody is walking around my fence and looking inside of the garden, and I want to close it a bit more so I don't have so many people watching in my garden.
yeah, when we bought this house, we inherited Concord grapevines, and Daryl cut them down.
No, I didn't. No,
You
the support for the vine
well, yeah, you had a
rotted away.
right.
So when building a new arbor for them, I trimmed them back real hard,
Right. And we had a real good crop.
and they flourished.
So hopefully, if we have a crop this year, I'd like to try to make wine.
Yeah, that's really nice. White Family Farm, I'm not sure what the name is. Could be ice wine, but I'm not sure. It is really sweet, really, really sweet. It's more like a liquor kind of wine with a lot of alcohol percentages in it. I believe it
I
is.
think-
It is a recipe from Poland from my ex-wife.
I think with all them blueberry plants that Jason and Robin has, they need to try make blueberry wine if they get a good harvest next year.
Well, they got all that muscadine down there,
And elderberries.
and elderberry, and who knows? They could probably even make some wine out of one of them pigs. I heard of wine. I heard of wine when we were down
Maybe
there.
we are. Maybe we are.
Maybe you can share some.
We trade.
Yep. We can do
I'm
that.
willing to trade.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
Better yet, you could make
You know where I live. I'm willing to trade.
if you stop and think about it, just think about the number of things you can grow and make alcohol out of.
My name's
Hey.
John Sink.
Hey, potato peels make the best vodka.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, that's why potato is the best vegetable. And
What I also like is I saw Sherry and Daryl get this dehydrator, and I'm looking forward to see a vlog about that because I have some. Normally, I don't like champignons or something like that, but if they are dried and then later you can put them on in some other food to make the taste of it, I think that would be very nice. And also with tomatoes, dried tomatoes for on a pizza or something like that, that would be very nice.
Paul, Sherry has done a lot of dehydrating for years. I mean, she did just get that one dehydrator, but she's had dehydrators for years, and she makes quite a few of her own spices and all kinds of stuff with that.
Yeah, that's nice.
But I think
I
think her favorite is marshmallows.
No, that's Wanda's, not mine. The kids like it.
Well, hey, everybody, I'm going to call it a night. I got to get up early tomorrow. I got my doctor's appointment, the old acupuncture. He asked about you, Daryl, by the way.
Well, what'd you tell him? That's what I want to know.
I told him that you said that you were more likely going to come see him every time you came to town.
Yep, Daryl's.
That you said he had magic needles.
Yeah, they were magic, all right.
I can still feel those needles at times going into my knees.
Yep, Daryl's going to have to get up at 5 a.m., so we're going to have to cut this short also.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
I'm calling him next week.
yeah, Daryl's.
thanks for letting me call in, and
Of
it
course.
was great talking with y'all.
if for some reason Jason doesn't do calling on his lights, go figure.
I don't do call-ins. No, that's because I ain't got a home phone.
We don't have
We
a
don't
home.
do cell phone.
We don't have a
Yeah,
home
if he
phone.
That way
doesn't
the-
call
that
in,
way-
you better worry.
That way the FBI knows exactly what to trace and what to listen into.
We don't have a home phone.
I'm not calling on the phone.
Well, then
No,
I don't know.
Darren's using a computer.
Yeah, we don't have a home phone. All we have are ourselves.
I don't even
Okay.
have cable television.
So anyway,
I-
but yeah, we're going to have to be much as I hate to because it's kind of interesting here, but we're going to have to be cutting it short too. We've been on over 2 hours already.
I have a question though, since he's still on the phone. Darren, did you figure out what was wrong that nobody could hear you the other night?
Have absolutely no idea. Have ordered a Blue Yeti microphone to try and beat the problem.
Well, I told you to call Daryl and talk to him.
Well, I don't know what you're talking through right now, but it's just fine.
I'm talking through the same setup I had on the other day.
Well, it works. It works just fine. Now,
Yeah.
what I don't know is how you were doing the live stream, and this is not the place to
Yeah.
talk about
Yeah.
that here now. But if you want to get a hold of me here later, we can hook up through Zoom or something. We can see what we can do with it.
I've got no idea. I've already ordered the Blue Yeti, so I'll do a private one and test it that way
Okay.
and make sure it works.
And that was going to be my next suggestion that you do a private one first, make sure it's all working. And
Yeah, I didn't know I could do a private live stream, so that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
but then you have to remember to make it public, because otherwise you'll get on there and say, "God, there's nobody watching me. I don't understand."
Can you tell we've been there, done that?
Well, I mean, it was awesome. When I had that live stream, so many of my friends and family were watching along, and they kept going from live stream to live stream with me. That was fantastic.
All right. Well, Darren, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you very much for having me.
Let me see here. And
I'm still here.
And Terry is still
I'll
here.
get going.
So Terry, thank you for calling in. Appreciate it very much.
We created a monster when we had her on live. Now she calls every week. I think it's great.
And that's fine. Absolutely.
She came out of her shell. I love it.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, when Jason talked about turkey chicken, I ended up getting sick for 2.5 weeks
I
after
know.
that.
That's
So
why I said we got you out of your shell. I love it.
Well, yeah, and that's so that's like.
Hooroo, everyone, and it was lovely to talk to you, Paul. I've watched your channel a couple times, and it's lovely to talk to you.
Thank you very much.
Paul, do you still do lives on Friday?
I do even more lives than only on the Friday. So, but because of my 5 shift, it's difficult for me to do every time on Friday the live stream, because I even did one time a live stream when I was at work. So I just asked my chef if I could have 1 hour free time so that I can do the live stream at work and work 1 hour, then do 1 hour live stream, and then do the rest of the 6 hours work that I have to do.
Cool.
And they were okay with that for one time. But I'm not sure if I can do that the whole time. But normally I can do 3 from the 5 Fridays I can do the live stream, and 2 of the 5 I can't do the live stream. So I have to see if I can do it later or earlier on the day, that live stream.
Cool.
But normally it still stands, yes.
Okay, well, it's been a lot of fun, folks. We certainly appreciate everybody here. Special thank you to our moderators. Extra special thank you to all of those that are in Smudge's Pack. We appreciate and love you all. If you'd like to become a member of Smudge's Pack, we'd love to have you. Just click that join button down below. So I guess a good parting thought is, folks, when you clean out a vacuum cleaner, you become a vacuum cleaner. Everybody have a good evening. Bye.